So moving on, next topic. Should Uber require passengers to provide their driver's license? So
Yes.
obviously this new feature, that's your answer. Yes. Uber rider verification. They kind of announced this, which I think you and I both agree. Okay, we'll start
Yeah.
where we agree. We both agree that it's a good first step, right? That Uber has
Yep.
launched. They're trying to match names and emails and credit card information to sort of, potentially verify riders, but they're not checking IDs yet.
Nope. Yep. Well, I think look, I like the first as a first step, but
Yeah.
in Uberland, things don't move as fast as we like.
Hmm.
We've been saying this for how long now? And we started showing me the money 2 years ago. Actually, we had our 2 year anniversary, Harry, last
Yeah.
week. So we've been saying this forever. Okay. Now, look, man, safety is number two in the driver list. Okay. First is earnings, safety, unjust deactivations, all that good stuff. So this is a okay, lukewarm first step at best because it leaves it up to the writer again to upload a document or not. I mean, for God's sakes, man, what is the what? I get why Uber is not requiring riders to upload government IDs. We're not
Well,
asking
I
for
mean,
background checks, by the way.
yeah, I mean, the main
People.
reason I think I'm guessing Uber doesn't want riders to upload IDs is because it would create a lot of friction, right? I mean, not a lot, but
Well,
they would have to scan their ID. So if you have a million riders and they require all of them to upload the front and back of their ID, I don't know, maybe who knows how many, let's say half, let's say two-thirds, three-quarters, who knows of them would upload their ID. Now they lose a certain percentage of their riders, right?
Well, yeah, but the golden goose that lays the golden egg is the ones that are killing and carjacking the drivers as well. Again, am I
I
saying
guess
that
to
by
me, again,
doing
like
that?
I think this is similar topic to the first one in that I don't like requiring private companies to do certain things. Like no one is forcing drivers to go out and take these rides, but I like giving the option, right? So if Uber gives riders the option to upload an ID, right? That to me is sort of that's what I would much rather see. Then you as a driver, okay, this passenger has had their government ID uploaded and verified. Okay, if you want to take that trip, great. If you don't have to. There may be
Well, I
less
think
trips available.
to me, look, to me, like if you can you get in an airplane without an ID? No. I mean, hey, even okay, forget airplane. Yeah, how about a bus, city bus? You have
Yeah,
an
I think
ID.
you can get on a
You have an
city
ID
bus without an
card.
ID.
You have
What do you
some sort
mean?
of ID card.
No, you get on a city
I mean,
bus, you can get on a train, you can get on all of these other. I mean, airplane is, I think they're worried about hijackings and things like that,
well,
right?
it's
You have
public
hundreds of other
transportation. This is
people
not
on a
public
plane. That's why.
transportation. But those that could look buses, city, bus, trains, the metro, whatever, that's public transport. Okay,
Yeah,
you're
you're
in
not
my
required
car,
to
in
show
my
ID on
private car.
those.
I mean,
Right.
I look. All I'm saying is it has a lot of holes in it. If Uber can close those holes
I
without
feel like
losing
drivers
too
kind of
many of
want
their
the best of
customers,
both worlds, right? Like if you went out on Yelp and started let's say you started Sergio's driving business, right? And you went out on Yelp and Google Maps, are you going to require your passengers to upload an ID every time they request a ride?
not every time,
No,
once.
exactly, right? Like, so why would you ask Uber and Lyft to do this, right? I mean, I think you can at least understand that point of view and why it might not be something that they want to do. And that's kind of why I like that solution where, hey, where I would push Uber and Lyft is like, you should. I think I've probably one of the first people. I remember back in the day when they used to, when you ride a scooter on Uber and Lyft, they would make you verify your ID. You did have to
Yeah,
upload an ID. And as soon as I saw that, I said, hey, if they're making you do that for scooters, maybe they should do that for rideshare. If they've
yeah.
got, 25% of their passengers ride scooters and bikes on Uber or Lyft, they already have the ID. There you go. Verify the ID right then and there.
Well,
So that's one
am.
option, right? Like I think Uber and Lyft have not done enough when it comes to verifying IDs, but I don't like the idea of requiring them to verify every single person's ID. Like put the onus on the driver. If you want to take that trip, then you have the option or not.
Well, that's why I like the at least the start of this because I've seen already a trip or two with the verified badge,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So, if as a driver, I already said this on Show Me the Money, I'm going to say it again tomorrow. Every time I'm going to say, look, I have my acceptance threshold rating
Yeah.
of the rider because that's the only thing I know about them. But now like when I go pick up somebody, I will not unlock my doors, right? Those are simple rules, right? I
Hmm.
always have a clear path if I need to get out of Dodge or, all these things, right? That I've done for 8 years now. So now I'm going to add obviously where I pick up, where I'm dropping off. Now that I'm seeing that,
Yeah,
those are. But now I'm adding verified ID. If the trip comes in with a verified rider badge, it gives me a little bit of comfort, right?
yeah.
More, and then I'll take that. So I may add that actually to my list of requirements
Definitely.
to pick up a
I mean,
passenger.
I think it's all part of the consideration, right? If it's busy and there's lots of trips coming through, you can filter more for, hey, I'm going to take trips that are more 2 to 4 minutes ETA instead of 5 to 8 minutes, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to filter more for a higher passenger rating, right? If I'm really desperate and someone comes in at a 4.3 passenger rating, like, oh, I haven't got a ride in 20 minutes, I might take that, right? So I think it's always about that risk reward trade off. I think that's what you do a good job educating drivers that, like, hey, what are the trade offs of, taking this ride versus one another, considering, hey, if you have two apps, that's why obviously one of the best reasons to have both Uber and Lyft on, as a driver, you get to filter maybe double or, maybe 50% more. If you have 50% more rides coming in, you can filter for better rides potentially, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully. And
Well,
so
look, one thing I don't like about this is that, I mean, which we disagree on, is you're still saying that the rider should have the option to upload an ID. Now, hear me out. If I'm a writer and I did not go through their database checks and it didn't, let's say my email, my credit card, and whatever they're
mhm,
looking at didn't match some third-party database. I don't even know what they're looking at, but let's say they're looking at something substantial enough that some writers are gonna fall through the cracks. The people who did not get matched, who did not match, um, should be absolutely required to upload an ID. The ones that go through, you go through. But at the end, what good is it to have a verified badge or not
yeah,
verified badge? Because Ryder doesn't care about having a badge like a Twitter,
yeah,
bird or whatever. I'm like, those people who do not pass the initial database search or whatever they're going to do should be required to upload, because those are the ones that are, look, most people probably will have the verified badge, go through with flying colors. The ones that don't go through need to be scrutinized more than, just it's with an option on the bottom saying that, oh, we'll give you the choice anyway. You doesn't mean you're not going to be able to order trips. I'm like, then what good is it? What's
yeah.
the point?
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I don't want to defend Uber and Lyft too much because also I feel like they, haven't really like I think there could be some negative repercussions here, but I don't think they've like done a good job highlighting what those might be. Like, hey, if we go and require passengers to verify IDs, like I don't know, they've never said that, oh, 50% of people are, don't do this or won't do this. Like I feel like they need to kind of put their money where their mouth is a little. So I don't know, maybe you are right.
Well, Uber is like a tanker in the Marina del Rey, right? I mean, they cannot move fast. If they move fast, they're going to hit every $100 million boat out there. So you just kind of go slow. Once in
Every
a while, they
bridge.
do something. They throw a bone to the community. They go like, "Hey, look, we're just going to verify ID." I'm like, "Yeah, but this got full of holes in it, like Swiss cheese." So I'm going like, maybe. Look, again, the only thing I agree with you, it's a good first step. A lot of people said it's garbage already. I'm like, no, it's not garbage. It's a good first step. Personally, drivers, if you're listening to me, I'm going to look for that badge. If it's
Yeah.
verified, I'm adding that to my
I guess that's the
threshold
other
of
thing that's
accepting and
important to
declining.
me, right? Like, I think it's, I feel like a lot of drivers complain about these things, but they're not going out and, do they have a dash cam already, right? Are they sort of,
Yes.
looking at not even, just training, just like watching videos, reading, like customer service strategies, how to diffuse, like you talked about, right? Like thinking about, like, hey, where's my exit point? Like you don't
Yep.
want people sitting behind you. Like a lot of this stuff, honestly, that we've talked about a lot over the
Yep.
years, I feel like it's easier just to sort of sit there and be like, oh, I want Uber to do, verify IDs and I don't have to
No,
worry
yeah, I
about
agree.
anything.
No, I agree on that one, but it's a good first step. It has a lot more to go. Hopefully, we'll work with Uber and whoever, and we'll give them some ideas,
Yeah.
free, and then look. I mean, they didn't have to do it, period, right? And they did it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Okay. All right. So give them a little, pat on the back, and then we'll keep the fight on. So.